We can place 28 years later in the category of movies which, despite their complicated layered stories and various narrative worlds, managed to deliver a logical, simple and clean ending. The ending was perfect, I suppose. What Ralph Fiennes did in the last sequence was engaging and stunning, which I'm perhaps allowed to call the Dance of Satan sequence. By ending, I don't literally mean the final sequence in which Cillian Murphy appears, which actually seems redundant or forced. That is likely a premise for the next sequel. I wish Nia DaCosta luck, but I'm not really into movies that continue endlessly with sequels. Sequels usually spoil the freshness and originality of the initial idea. The story develops between a ruthless gang of Satanists who commit terrible violent crimes under the leadership of a mad psychopath played powerfully by the brilliant Jack O'Connell. Cutting people's skin alive is among their unforgivable sins. On the other hand, we meet Dr. Kelson, who claims he's an atheist. The story unfolds between Satanists and an atheist, as the characters of themselves explicitly emphasize. Besides the gang leader Jimmy and Dr. Kelson, there is another important character, a giant named Samson, who apparently is an animalistic, zombie-like figure whom Dr. Kelson kindly and patiently tries to cure. Samson is an enigma in the movie, one that is finally solved at the end. This is a beautiful movie. The characters, the places, the costumes. I like the vibe. People we met on vacation didn't receive proper reviews and got many negative reactions. But look friends, what do we really expect from a movie? I believe we only expect a few hours of distraction, smiles and surprises. People we meet on vacation gives us all of that. It's not transcendental, philosophical or profound. It is somewhat flawed, but it has a good spirit. The story is happy, romantic, engaging and exciting. The two leads, Tom Bless and Emily Butter, were magnetic. They both successfully built convincing characters. Poppy and Alex are friends, but not lovers, and their friendship appears to be platonic. In fact, they desperately try to keep the relationship within those boundaries. To make their friendship permanent, they make a promise every summer, wherever they are, they should travel somewhere together. In the movie, we are shown that even when they have partners, they still go on those promised trips, all four of them together. By the end, what happens between the two is persuasively and beautifully built up. All of you have more or less heard about the scale of tragedy in Gaza. During the past 2 years, the most resonant part of this frightening situation is the innocent children who have been brutally killed by the Israeli army. Believe me, brothers, and you can check war facts and UN reports. What happened in Gaza was an unprecedented genocide. The voice of Hind Rajab, based on a real incident, portrays one of the most profound tragedies that may have ever occurred in human history. The plot takes place almost entirely in one setting, emergency calls in Ramallah, about 80 kilometers away from Gaza. Omar, an operator, receives a phone call in which a girl is screaming, and after a few minutes we hear gunfire and realize that the poor girl has apparently been killed. In a location in Gaza, a family is trapped and surrounded by soldiers and tanks. Everyone is dead except two girls. One of them is killed during the first minutes of the call, while the other, Hind Rajab, survives for hours, speaking with members of the Red Crescent in Ramallah, who devotedly and stressfully try to calm this 6-year-old girl as she repeatedly asks them to come and take her home. There is a team in Gaza and an ambulance only 8 minutes away from Hind Rajab, but they need a green light and a safe route to reach her. It takes a deadly amount of time to arrange everything. The voice of Hind Rajab is in which the director uses Hind Rajab's real voice recorded during those calls is in fact a call for sympathy, humanity and conscience. It invites us to think more deeply about the brutality human beings are capable of. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to help me improve my channel. Like my video and leave a comment. I love to hear what you think of my reviews.